Hey, thank you so much for tuning in and listening to Content Karate. Again, we are a marketing show where we interview amazing people who use content and repurpose it in unique ways to drive traffic, generate leads, and revenue for their business. Today, I'm so excited because I get to sit down with Ben Azadi. He's one of our amazing clients at Repurpose House. He's the founder of Keto Camp and podcast host of the Keto Camp podcast, and he's personally on a mission to help 1 billion people live a healthier lifestyle, which is phenomenal. And he invests a lot of time creating amazing educational content, teaching people how to do that. He's known as the Health Detective. He's the author of 3 best-selling books. He is the go-to source for intermittent fasting and the ketogenic diet. And today we're going to get a really great inside look as to his content marketing strategy. So Ben, thank you so much for hopping on this interview. We're thrilled to have you here today.
I'm thrilled to be here with you, Sarah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So I'd love to start just by learning more about what the Keto Camp is. Can you break down that business, your mission, things like that?
Yes. So Keto Camp, we are an online platform. We are represented in 111 countries at the moment. And we educate through social media. We educate through LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, the podcast. We're on a mission to educate 1 billion people and empower them with this information that we know is transformational, right? So we do one-on-one coaching. We have programs like the Keto Camp Academy. We also have free giveaways like a Keto Kickstart Guide, a fasting book. So our mission is just to get that content out there as much as possible because let's face it, you know this more than anybody else. Everybody's online, especially what just happened right now with the quarantine. More people shifted online. Right. So the more you could put your information out there, which I do with your help, the more people we're going to impact. So that's our mission, to impact as many lives as possible with this information.
Yeah, and that's a very, very strong mission. And you guys are really great at practicing exactly what you preach. I'm really excited to kind of showcase some of the exact pieces of content that you're creating too, in addition to the show and everything you have going on. Based on that, I would love for you to kind of outline how you brainstorm and how you think of the type of content to create, because you are creating so much of it. You're everywhere. You're distributing this content in really strategic ways. So it'd be great to kind of understand that back behind the scenes process of how you're thinking of what to create each week.
Yeah, it's important for the audience to understand. I think they understand this because if they're listening to this the Content Karate podcast, they want to create content or they are creating content. Yeah. But it's very important to understand that attention, right? Money follows attention. You know, if you believe in what you have to offer, then it is your duty, responsibility, obligation to get it out there as much as possible. And that's what we're doing. Mm-hmm. So when you are clear on that, your creative juices just flow because creativity comes after commitment. So commit to your mission, commit to your purpose. The creativity will start following and flowing as a result. For me, I just love studying. I love studying health from different podcasts, books, YouTube University. When I'm driving my car is a mobile university. I'm listening to audiobooks. I mean, any chance I get, Sarah, I'm listening to an audiobook or a podcast. And I have in my phone, I use Evernote. Anytime I have like an idea for a video or a piece of content I want to create, I jot it down. I think it's very important to ink it. When you think it, you got to ink it because otherwise it'll slip away. Something will happen and you'll forget about that. You're like, oh, what was I supposed to do? So write it down. If I'm driving and I have that creative thought, I don't text and drive or do that, but I do the voice note, right? Goes right into the Evernote. So it could be Evernote or any kind of notes. But I go back and now I have this whole list of things for me to create content if I'm ever thinking about what should I create. The second thing that I do is I get so many questions on health and fitness and just keto and fasting. So I'm always looking at my questions on YouTube, on social media, on LinkedIn, and I say, oh, that would be a great video for me to answer that, right? And I'll go, and when I make that video, I'll respond with that video so they have to go watch it to get the answer. So those are some ways for me to just get my creative juices flowing.
That's so smart. I love what you said. If you think it, you got to ink it. That's phenomenal. I've never heard that before, so I love it. And one of the most important things too that I think you pointed out that I want to reiterate for everyone listening and watching is the power of Evernote and using that audio solution that they have so that when you are in the car, you know, when you're not able to write things down or whenever you're doing whatever it is, that you have these brilliant, you know, brainstorms, document it that way. So that's really, really great. Can you break down too so the audience knows like how much content are you creating like on a weekly basis? Because you have quite a bit of, content underway that you're constantly funneling, at least through our system as well.
Yeah, I use all your tickets.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
I think I'm probably the person who uses most of them if I had to guess. Um, yeah, so for me, all roads lead to YouTube. So YouTube is where I would create like longer format videos, 10 to 20 minutes on average. YouTube rewards that, by the way. That's a little nugget for you. 10 to 20 minutes is a sweet spot. So I'll take that 10 to 20 minute that I studied for, recorded. It's all done, and then I'll take 90-second or 60 to 90-second to 2-minute clips from that, and that's what I'll submit to you all to create that headline, the transcription, and have it branded. So I'm not really recreating these videos. They're already created one time with one video that I get to chop up, and I could get 5 to 10 to sometimes 15 of these social media posts that I'm doing with y'all just from one video, right? Just from doing one long video. So that's how I'm able to have so much stamina and so much content.
That's awesome. That's great. And so how often would you say, though, are you creating those long form pieces? Like, what does that look like in the back end for you?
Yeah, 1 to 2 times a week. I'll create 1 to 2 of those videos per week on average, right? And that gives me so much longevity. Just 2 videos could give me almost a month's worth of content to distribute to all to create tickets for. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. You don't have to start that way. You just want to kind of build and just get better and better and better. Something that a lot of people I see struggle with is they're always comparing themselves or their content or their YouTube channel with somebody else's. And I used to fall victim to that. But the truth is this: amateurs compete, the world class collaborate and create. So the only competition that we have is the person we were yesterday, right? Just beat yesterday. That's our motto at Keto Camp, by the way, is to beat yesterday. I wear t-shirts that say beat yesterday. So if you could just do a little bit more than you did yesterday and build from there, all of a sudden you're going to have that momentum. It's like you're pushing up that rock and up the hill. And at first it sucks, right? You're trying to push that rock. Once you hit the peak, and then you have that momentum, then it's just that flow. And that's where I'm in right now. I'm at that flow, but I didn't start that way. I kind of had to build It's like a muscle that you build up.
Yeah, I want to know more about that. So as you were kind of developing that content process that you have to where you're able to just once or twice a week create some of those long form pieces, what would you say like your biggest hurdle in getting to the point you're at now in the content creation process, and how did you overcome that? Because a lot of our listeners too are still trying to figure out that part of building their business and that marketing side.
It was treating it like a hobby and not like an actual 7-figure business was the hurdle, right?
Yeah.
So it was a mind shift for me. I treat my content like this is part of my 7-figure business. It's not a hobby for me. So if it's a hobby for you, and it's just like you're motivated sometimes and you're not motivated other days, then you're not going to have the stamina, not going to have the longevity. So I got clear on my mission, which is to empower a billion people and educate them, and that's how I'm going to do it, through social media, because it's impossible. It's almost impossible to do it in person. But when you have social media, when you have Repurpose House, it makes the mission possible. So for me, it was getting clear on the mission and looking at this as a business and not a hobby. And when you can make that transition, that's when you'll commit and block out time and actually focus on things. Because if not, you're going to just push it to the side and have little, get-togethers and other things get in the way. But block out the time, commit to it. Don't let anything else get in the way of that time.
That's really good. Time blocking, everybody. Note that. Time blocking. Put it in your calendar.
Exactly.
So you're super consistent too with making sure that content you're funneling through Repurpose House that you're creating actually gets shared on your social media channels. And I know you and I talked about this, but you have 2 specific platforms that really perform really quite well for your audience. Can you break those two platforms down?
Yeah, YouTube. I mentioned that already. My YouTube channel is about to hit 100,000 subscribers. We're at like 99,200, something like that. So we should be there in a few days. Thank you. That's in about 17 months, by the way. And YouTube's a beast. So I've been studying YouTube. So YouTube is great because I take that long form content. YouTube rewards high production videos. Yes, you could do anything on your phone and you just get started with your phone, but YouTube will reward you faster if you could focus on production, right? So using B-roll and things like that, which you could build to. You don't have to start with that. YouTube also rewards niches. So the more focused your YouTube channel is, you want to make sure when somebody lands on your YouTube channel for whatever reason, just by reading the name of your YouTube channel, they know what they're going to get based off of that niche. So for me, they read Keto Camp. I know I'm going to get keto. They know they're going to get keto just by reading that name. So niche, production value, and consistency, starting with maybe 1 video per week to 2 videos per week. That will do you well. Just stick and stay. it's bound to pay. So that's YouTube number one. Number two is LinkedIn. LinkedIn, as is where Facebook was a few years ago. It's less cluttered. There's actually people on there who are willing to invest in your services, to actually pay for your services more so than Facebook. So you get a lot more engagement. You get a lot more organic growth. I've actually never ran ads on LinkedIn. I don't even know how it works on LinkedIn, but my LinkedIn has great engagement. It has great growth. So that's the second platform. So I take the ticket that I submit. I'm actually, before I hopped on this call, I was working on the ticket for tomorrow, which I'm almost done. I'm going to submit it. So I wake up in the morning. I have my tickets. I have the square format. I have the landscape. I have the IGTV. I'll take the square and I'll post that on LinkedIn with the transcription notes and just make it look great. And that's where I'll get great feedback with LinkedIn.
Nice. That's awesome. I want to jump back to YouTube because how you've scaled the subscribers in 17 months is phenomenal. And like we kind of talked about, like YouTube is a beast and it's sometimes a bit of an intimidating channel for people to even get started with. Are you utilizing any practices on YouTube, like playlists, like anything like that? Like how are you driving traffic specifically to YouTube to encourage those subscribers? Any other strategies or tips that you have would be awesome.
Here's the thing about YouTube. It is a beast, and we are about to hit 100,000 subscribers in about 18 months, actually. We haven't spent 1 cent on YouTube ads. This is all organic growth, not 1 penny. I've never even done a YouTube ad, although I want to do some soon. So the reason why it growed was because I treated it like a business, not a hobby. I focused on high production videos. Thumbnails are very important, along with the title, and you want to make sure that you're doing your research. So I do a lot of research before I even hit record for a YouTube video. I'm doing research. I'm using a software called TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is a great software to look at different keywords to see how they're ranking. So I'm using all the tags. I'm using all 500 words for tags. I'm using playlist, and I'm using keywords for my playlist. I'm consistent with the content. The content's high quality, high production value. The thumbnails are great. I'm using Canva for my thumbnails, but I can use you all, but I use Canva for the thumbnails. So I'm just consistent on there. And I got to tell you a story here. The first 5 months from my YouTube channel. So I launched my YouTube channel December of 2019. No, 2018, right? December 2018. So right before 2019 started. And then it was April now, 2019. So just 4 or 5 months into it, I had 342 subscribers on my YouTube channel.
Wow.
And I was still committed to putting a video out every Monday, every Friday, but I only had 342 subscribers. So I was a little frustrated, but I think it was the universe's way of testing me and testing my commitment to the message. So I said, I'm going to keep going. All of a sudden, the video took off. Other videos took off. And now fast forward just several months later, about to hit 100,000 subscribers. So it's really about sticking with it, and you benefit that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Because after a couple of months of doing something consistently and not getting the results that you want, it's really, a lot of people are inclined to think, okay, this process isn't working. I need to shift gears. But the fact that you were consistent with it and you kept doing it, that's awesome. So really good job. I'm excited for that. I can't believe we aren't doing your thumbnails, Ben. We gotta get out. We got that. That needs to be figured out. So that's going to be my mission.
Deal. Let's figure it out.
That sounds great. Okay, so obviously YouTube top performer, that's awesome. But in terms of your individual content pieces, is there like one specific piece that you have in mind that's outperformed a lot of your other like content, long form content? It could be opt-ins, a YouTube video, a podcast episode, anything like that that's performed really, really well for your audience.
Yeah, there was a video I did on wireless headsets and are they safe? Are the AirPods safe? That one did well on LinkedIn because a lot of professional types that use those wireless headsets. Yeah. So that one did really well on LinkedIn. That's the one I thought of first.
Nice. Very cool. And then, so is that the main place that you promoted it, LinkedIn?
I promote it on all. So I get your ticket and I use that square format for Facebook. I use it for my Instagram feed. I use it for LinkedIn. And then I use the landscape format for Twitter, and then I use the IGTV format for my stories and an IGTV. So I take one ticket and I use and I use TikTok now, by the way. I use my IGTV for TikTok. So I'm repurposing everything.
Nice. Out of curiosity, how has TikTok been like performing for you, like engagement wise?
Good. I mean, I'm not even spending too much. I'm looking at my TikTok app right now. I'm not even spending too much time in there. I'm just repurposing it and leaving. I mean, I've got 1,300 followers in 2 months, so it's growing, right? It's growing just by repurposing things, so it's doing it.
And it's another platform to get that exposure and to drive that traffic and get that brand out there. That's awesome. Hit that 1 billion, Ben.
Exactly. Sarah, you said it.
Yes. Okay. So everyone, listening and watching, again, this is a video podcast. So if you guys are listening, just know you can tune into this too. But I would love for you to kind of share where you would want everyone who's tuning in to go to learn more about Keto Camp, to see some of the content that you're creating. Where are a couple places that would be good for them to check out?
Yeah, definitely my YouTube channel. See what I'm doing and start modeling me. I've modeled a lot of other people who are crushing it on YouTube. Not copy them. Don't copy me, but just model what I'm doing and see what's working for me and do it for your specific niche. So it's Keto Camp on YouTube. That's camp with a K. If you go to youtube.com/Keto Camp, you can find that. I know you're putting links in the notes of this podcast. And then my Keto Camp podcast as well. My Keto Camp podcast is a top 15 podcast in the US in the alternative health space. So if you're interested in keto, fasting, or health in general, I also talk about mindset, which I call mental six pack. Go subscribe to the Keto Camp podcast. It's available on all podcast platforms worldwide. And then if you want more just like personal stuff, Instagram is great. I'm very interactive on Instagram. So that's at the Ben Azadi, which is my name, the Ben Azadi.
That's perfect. And so again, to recap, so the YouTube channel, you're uploading every Monday and Friday. Is that correct?
That's what I did when I first started out.
Okay.
Once I saw the channel start to take off, I went from 2 videos a week to now 4 to 5 videos a week.
Oh, okay. So heavy user on the YouTube channel. Okay. And then the podcast is 1 new episode every week.
That one's 2 to 3 every week.
2 to 3 every week. Okay.
Yeah.
See, all right. So yeah, definitely check him out, guys, because that's a lot of content, a lot of capacity that he's distributing there. Thanks so much, Ben. This has been awesome. Before we log off, is there anything else that you want to cover, that you want to leave the audience with? Any type of info?
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. Repurpose House has been a game changer for me. And they're not paying me to say this. They have been a game changer for me. And I highly recommend you try them out. You get these tickets because it takes such a burden off your shoulders. It's an investment, but it's an investment that comes back tenfold, 100-fold. So the fact that I'm able to just submit a ticket and get this content and have all these social media platforms receive this information, it is amazing. I've never had this before. So I want to say that. And then I also want to just tell you that if you're not getting your content out there, whoever is listening, I just hope this connects with one person. If you're not getting your content and your message out there, you are selfish, okay? It is your duty, responsibility, and obligation to get the information out there. Let's face it, there's a whole bunch of toxic, negative, nasty information going on in the world right now. And if you have information that could help somebody, then you got to share it, you got to express it, you got to get out there. So that's the last thing I would leave for your audience.
That was so well said, Ben. Thank you. That's great. Yeah, and everybody check out his stuff. Be sure you learn from him. And this was an awesome episode, Ben. I learned a lot from your YouTube strategies too. So I'm personally excited to go check that out. So thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. And be sure to actually go to our show notes page, which is contentkarate.com. And that's where you're going to be able to see where to listen, where to watch. We're also going to have all of the tools that Ben has talked about, all of the places where he's uploading his content, his podcast, his YouTube, for you to actually visually check out. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next episode.